Why are some Christians poor? Give 4 reasons why Christians might be poor. Number 1 reason, ignorant of covenant privileges. Number 2, poor business managers. Number 3, greed and selfishness. Number 4, love of money. If Christ wants his redeemed to enjoy all forms of prosperity in abundance, why do some sincere, dedicated, spirit-filled people struggle from one paycheck to the next to survive, while other members of the congregation are enjoying varying measures of financial prosperity? They never seem to accumulate enough funds to pay their bills. Here are a few reasons why some believers are poor and others are prosperous. Ignorant of covenant privileges. Just as some Christians tolerate sickness through failing to claim Calvary's healing benefits, others endure poverty, never do they suspect that both poverty and disease are a curse of the law. How could God be glorified when He seemingly mistreats and punishes certain believers? No one would be attracted to a gospel that promises constant hardships, but this is a false impression. By looking in the book, a depleted financial picture can be reversed. Number 2, poor business managers. Unwise stewards are tempted to squander what a little things come to them. If money is foolishly spent on unnecessary items or credit privileges are abused, financial prosperity will surely pass us by. Why should God bless the foolish spender with huge sum of wealth? Within days, it would vanish through poor management. Many Christians cannot handle credit cards. One young evangelist admitted that every time he and his wife were low on funds, they would feel compelled to buy a new dress or a new pair of shoes to boost their morale. Eventually, their spending spree had buried from under a pile of debts. They promised that if God would help them out of their desperate situation, the credit cards would be burned. When the Lord miraculously answered their prayers, they destroyed the cards and began making cash purchases only. Consequently, their financial condition greatly improved. Number 3, greed and selfishness. Some believers are plagued by a stingy spirit. With great effort, they suffer. With great effort, they surrender themselves to the Lord. But they cannot seem to part with their money. The problem lies with pocketbooks that have never been sanctified. When these Christians grudgingly force themselves to give a few dollars, then they are plagued by such truth as, I just wonder why my hard-earned money will be spent. It will probably be wasted on something foolish. Having violated the principle of freely giving, God cannot afford the abundantly blessed the selfish. Too little is returned to the one who gave it. Number 4, love of money. Some Christians cannot be trusted with riches. Therefore, God withholds that would be a stumbling block to their spiritual progress. In Jesus' parable of the talents, the servants were given 5 talents, 2 talents, and 1 talent for investment purposes. Why did one man only receive 1 talent while the others were given far more? When the master returned, his reasoning became quite clear. Evidently, he sensed that one of the servants could only be trusted with little. Perhaps it was to those with a weakness of loving money, those who are greedy or selfish, or who are poor business managers, that Paul wrote. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6, 7, and 8. Be certain that basic necessities of life will be provided to everyone. Food and clothing are available to all God's children, but the blessings over and above the basic depend upon the whether of our giving is bountiful, whether our finances are discreetly managed, and our attitudes about riches are acceptable to God. Paul gave his wise advice to a young minister. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9 and 10. Money may be compared to a rosebud. Its attractiveness to the eye disguises thorn which can pierce our flesh with the many sorrows, rather than a love for money's roses. Paul cautions young Timothy to desire the fruit of the Spirit. But thou, O man of God, follow after righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 11 to 12. A highly respected pastor in California has proven the concept of abundant giving. Through the years, he has freely given to the cause of mission, has supported young evangelists, and has never turned away anyone who needed his help. Consequently, he has a fine home and automobiles, owns large real estate holdings, and makes profitable investments. Because he has proven his faithfulness to give and support God's work, God has entrusted him with financial prosperity. Satan, the god of this world, advertises this concept as the key to success. Get as much as you can, any way you can, as fast as you can, and keep it for yourself. But such reasoning will result in self-destruction. Those who are strive to be rich should thoroughly consider the solemn judgment Jesus pronounced upon a highly successful businessman. Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then thou shalt those things be which thou hast provided. So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward God. Luke chapter 12, verse 20 to 21. Our affliction should not be set upon material wealth, but upon that which increases our understanding and fruitfulness towards God. Giving to others bring a joy like no other. But if our love of money exceeds our love of giving, true prosperity flashes away. Yet when our love of giving outweighs that of money, we are in a prime position for God to richly shower us with financial blessings. Missionaries claim that many Christian natives of underdeveloped countries give relatively more in offerings than the average American believer. But if God enriches the liberal giver, why aren't those natives enjoying the luxuries we have? Financial prosperity is measured against the standard of giving for a particular society. God may be blessed an abundant giver with 2 donkeys and an area where the average person has none. They may own their own house while the unbelieving families must share a small room. One missionary reports that before a church was taught the principle of giving, no one owned any modern transportation and a small village. Yet, when informed of the responsibility, the natives began giving eagerly of their meager incomes for God's work to flourish in time. The block in front of the church was lined with vehicles as the prosperous saints worshiped their lords and benefactors. The key to an abundant life of prosperity is the principle of abundant giving. Saving or withholding money while others are in need leads to poverty. Whatever we give, the same amount will eventually return to us when we are in need. We are always repaid in gifts of money when we send our funds for the gospel work of for others. God increases our finances so that we can give more to others and bring more glory to Him. God compels us to give more so we will be destitute. The policy of charitable giving began in Mosaic law.